What's up, everyone? We are back for another episode of Fireflies Forever. We got a lot to talk about this evening, including one of us was fortunate enough to be able to go to the Rumble and experience it live, and I can't wait to talk to the man who got to do that this weekend. So let me bring the guys on screen. We've got Joe joining us this week. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Ready to hear all about Chris's amazing experience that we only got pictures of. So yeah, no, I'm doing good, man. And like you said, a lot of stuff going on, lots to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. And Chris,
Hmm.
how's it going, man? How was the Rumble?
It was incredible. So awesome to get to experience that live. That was like nothing I've ever been to.
That's awesome, man. I'm so glad you got a chance to experience that and have fun out there. I love all the pictures. I can't wait to show everyone the pictures and video.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it was really cool. And I want to welcome in everyone that's joining us in chat, whether you're joining us from Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Welcome. We are glad that you are with us this evening. And just because I know I'm going to forget later, if you don't mind, folks, drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, we'd like to welcome you to the channel. And hopefully, you will subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when we have future content. For this week, future content is our watch along on Thursday for TNA Wrestling. TNA is heating up right now, if just in case you are not in the wrestling bubble as much as us are. Um, TNA is awesome. Come check it out with us. Give it always throw out this challenge to folks. Give it a month and see
Mhm.
what you think. And I know that Chris just started watching several months ago again, but Chris, what are your thoughts on TNA and what they're doing right now?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, they have great characters, good stories. The matches are awesome. Like, yeah, it's if you're a fan of wrestling, I don't know how you couldn't like TNA wrestling. I really don't.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know Joe. Joe, you always sing the praises of TNA just like I do, but just to kind of add on to Chris's point there about TNA wrestling, if I could get a few words from you on why folks should join us on Thursdays.
Yeah, man. Look, I mean, it's obviously it's hot right now. There are a lot of athletes there, young athletes that are over there. Now they got the thing going with NXT, which we kind of don't know what we're going to get there. We could end up getting like whole pay-per-view or something at some point, which I'd be surprised if that doesn't happen. And yeah, you got one of the hottest wrestlers in the world right now, and Joe Hendry is the champion there. And it's just like Chris said, and what we talk about on our show all the time, just the great storylines that they're doing. They've got a lot of young talent that's coming up that looks really, really good. Some of the names you would recognize if you were watching WWE in the past. There's some people that used to be in WWE that are coming over. And just really, really good show, and seeing them in front of live crowds now, which we're going to see more of this year, is just amazing. That first live crowd that we had a couple of weeks ago on the show was a show to watch. And I think they're just going to keep doing that. They're going to these small arenas now and live. They're selling them out. And it's just a great crowd and a great time. It's my favorite wrestling show now of the week. I look forward to it more than anything else. And yeah, that's about the best endorsement I could give it is I can't miss it.
Mhm.
Right, it's can't miss every week. So
Yeah.
so yeah. Well, Chris, I wanna start off here because we talked a little bit about your experience at the Rumble. I want to go through some of these pictures here
Yeah.
from the Rumble, and I know you got a couple videos that I want to show too.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's start with these pictures, man.
Yeah, so this was from the superstore that they set up. Logan, I don't know what thought he was doing a little cool guy pose here. He wanted to have his picture taken in front of that. Yeah, I thought the store setup was awesome. tons and tons of merch available. I'm really glad. Pro tip: if you guys have an event like this come to your city that you're going to, go the first day the shop opens. This was on Thursday, just a couple hours after the store opened, and a lot of the stuff that I got for myself was not there the next day. The stuff sold fast, so just keep that in mind if you're ever in that situation. This was something else that was they had in the store there that obviously I found very awesome. They had different banners up and stuff around, just showing cool stuff.
That is awesome.
There's what I let Logan pick out some stuff. He went. He's a huge Cody fan, so he went with the Cody shirt and Cody's belt.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I cannot let JJ see this picture. That's basically what this boils down to.
Yeah. And there's the stuff I ended up getting for myself. I was so thrilled to find that Wyatt Sicks lantern there. I missed out on that when it was on the shop and it sold out and they had them there. So I had to grab that and then got myself a hoodie and a beanie. And then I've never collected the mini titles before. I was talking to some people around there. I didn't realize like what a big thing those are for people that go to a lot of PLEs and stuff. They collect those, and people I saw were like hoping they still had them left by the time they got into town and stuff. But when I saw that the case for it was an IndyCar, and if anybody knows me and Jodie how big fans we are of IndyCar, I had to get it. And the belt looks awesome itself too, and it's a great collector's item. Even says like I was there on the back of it, the belt, and on the inside of the box. So yeah, awesome. I had to have that. That was a perfect souvenir for me.
That's awesome. I've seen people at meet and greets have those, and they get them autographed.
Oh yeah, it'd be awesome to get one of those autographed. Yeah. And then right after we got done with our meet and greet with the Wyatt Sicks, which you'll see a picture of here in a second, we were just walking around there and saw this guy, and Logan asked him if he could get a picture with him, and he was nice enough to let him do that. So I had to do that and give him props for his awesome cosplay.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, we got to meet the Wyatt Sicks. Unfortunately, as you can see, no Bo. I think that I was able to confirm the rumors of one of the Wyatt Sicks being hurt. I believe that was Bo, and that's why he wasn't there. But it was still awesome to meet the rest of them. They were all super nice. They all gave Logan a fist bump, and Dexter even acted like Logan hurt his hand when he fist bumped him. That was really cool of him to do that. And yeah, they were all super nice.
A couple of people that I read that got pictures with them were all saying Nikki was awesome. They said
Nikki was incredible, super sweet.
Yeah, they said like her personality is just like contagious. Like, yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah, she was going all out, especially for the kids. Like, yeah, she was just going over the top. I mean, she was pretty much willing to pose however anybody wanted her to and stuff. Yeah, she was great.
That's awesome. Ken joining us from Twitter saying Dexter still looks insane and he's being normal.
Yeah, I love that.
He does.
In character still.
See, it's the eyes, man. All he has to do is widen his eyes, and he's just like, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome though.
Very cool pick. Yeah.
This is a cool pick. I love this pick.
So we went to SmackDown. I took Logan. That was his first ever wrestling show. And that was our seats right there to the left of me in the picture there. Which was awesome. That was a fantastic view for SmackDown. We had
good seats.
Great time at that. Logan definitely enjoyed it and thought it was cool. His first experience with live wrestling.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, good angle.
Yeah,
I had to get a picture of this. Of course, they changed a bunch of the street signs downtown. Indianapolis they go all out for events like this. They love to just go over the top and do different things. And one of the common things they do is change street signs. Like for the 500 in May, they always change it to different race car drivers' names and stuff. And so for this, they changed a bunch of the street sign names to different wrestlers and stuff. So of course, I had to get a picture of the Wyatt Sicks Street.
Could you imagine that people driving around in Indianapolis that weekend and they are looking at MapQuest and trying to find streets?
Yeah.
I just thought to myself, they'd be looking up for signs like, this isn't the right name.
Right in front of Lucas Oil Stadium, they changed it to Cody Road.
Oh,
that's
love
great.
it. Love
it.
That's amazing.
And here's my view of our seats at the Rumble. We were in the front row of the lower level. I was hoping it was going to be just above the floor level, which it was. So it worked out great that we were able to still have a decent view of the ring from there and not have our view blocked or anything.
That's cool. You're like on the corner almost.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No,
and off to the right there, you can kind of see in the distance that's where the entrance ramp started and where they came out at. And for the most part, we could see, unless someone was really short coming out like Alexa, for the most part, we could see him walking down the ramp above the crowd.
Lucas is a deceptively big place. Like I remember I traveled there. I went to a Star Wars convention there the one year. It was in a convention center that was right next to it. And I remember seeing it and I remember like, wow, it looks tiny when you see it, but like, in the inside, that's when they said that they got 70,000 people in there. I'm like, damn, I didn't even know I could seat that many people. But yeah, it's very cool looking and very deceptively. You think it's a lot smaller than it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. They do a good job of cramming people in there, and it was. I believe that 70,000 number because it was completely full. I did not see an empty seat anywhere.
and I know that Chris is going to share this, but I'm going to kind of tee it up for him. And it gets very, very loud.
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. It definitely gets loud. And so this one, I got to go to the Royal Rumble kickoff, which was really awesome.
Nice.
That I heard that was going to be there, and me and Logan we had our Wyatt Sicks meet and greet around noon, and kind of walked around the store, and then we walked over to check out WrestleCon. There was a bunch of like legends and stuff there doing meet and greets. We were trying to get Logan really wanted to meet Joe Hendry. But I went there, and he was about the only one at WrestleCon that had a line, and his line was insane. And we were kind of a choice of either stand there in line to meet him or go to the kickoff. And I really wanted to go to the kickoff, so we ended up doing that instead. But it was really cool to get to see that, especially being up close like I was.
That's awesome, man. So awesome. So, I want to show your videos now. So the first one is the longer video that you sent over, but I'll play that. We'll chat between that one and the next one, then we'll bring the next one up. But here's the first.
This is England. Let's have a weekend.
That
I was cracking up. I could not believe that they all went crowd surfing.
You're muted, Joe.
McAfee almost got dropped at one point.
Oh, I know.
Look on his face. He's like, "Oh no!" That was great. I think they showed that. I think on the WWE kickoff show, if I'm not mistaken, they showed a little bit of that because they talked about
I wasn't sure how much of it they showed on TV or not, but yeah. Cody and Michael Cole decided to go crowd surfing, and then Pat McAfee had to join them.
And I have to point out, Michael Cole did not look comfortable.
Yeah.
No, he did not. He said beforehand he was really worried. He's like, "You guys aren't going to drop me, are you?"
Yeah, man. All right, so we got the second video, and this is inside the arena. This is during the Rumble. So set it up, Chris. We'll play it, and then we'll talk about it.
So I was pretty sure, as we all were, that Joe Hendry was probably going to show up in the Rumble. So I started, during the men's one, I started recording every single one of the entrances because I did not want to say his name, and he appeared as soon as it came on. So he ended up coming in. I think it was number 15, and you're gonna totally hear me singing along. I definitely fanboyed out and lost it for Joe Hendry.
Nothing wrong with that, Chris. All right, let's hear Chris mark out for Joe Hendry. Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
That is so freaking cool.
Yeah, that was an amazing moment.
Deanna saying that crowd was so into him. Talk about how loud it got, Chris, when Joe came out.
Oh, it was massive. It was huge cheers and pop, and then just it's tough to tell on the video, but everyone in there was singing his song. Everyone there.
It's crazy, man. The guy's a star.
Oh yeah,
he's an absolute star, and it's crazy. Right after the event was over, Triple H took a picture with him, and all he said was, "I believe." And I'm like, "Yep, he's going to be seeing Triple H sooner than later."
What an experience for him. I mean, here's a guy, TNA wrestling where, I think there are usually a few thousand people crowds at their events, and he just had 70,000 people singing his song.
Yeah, it's insane, man. Absolutely crazy.
So for people that say, "Oh, no one knows about TNA wrestling," nobody cares about that. Tell that to the 70,000 people that just sang.
Everybody there knew who he was and was super excited to see him.
Exactly. Oh man, so Chris, that was awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing those pictures and videos.
You guys.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. I'm glad I didn't have a camera or anything on me. I mean, I'm already on the internet for believing, so but it is what it is. But I'm glad I didn't have anything on me on Saturday because I was pumped about that. So I know we have we've got a video of you and Jodie at Raw, but I just want to have you set that up, Chris, and then we'll play that and talk about it on the other side.
Yeah, so I've talked about this. I've shared this memory with you guys before. Some of the pre-show stuff of when me and Jodie went to Raw in Cincinnati a few years ago and sat front row. But I found these clips the other day that during the show that I thought it'd be cool to share, just to see what the experience is like when wrestlers are outside the ring and you're sitting front row. This was Roman, and I think it was Drew McIntyre, if I recall right, in a match. And Roman almost ended up in our laps. It was hilarious. And Jodie, this is when she was super all about Roman. He came right by us, getting ready to do a Superman punch, and she just had to reach out and touch his arm.
And I did put these together, so so it'll be one video, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Here we go. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a wild experience. If you can ever sit front row for anything like that, it's totally worth it. Just because you'll never have another experience like that.
Yeah.
You get glimpses too of how they do what they do. You can see it close up, like when you see when you see that on TV when they get hit on those stairs. That's like you're taking full on force, but you don't see the little hand in the front where they're hitting the stairs with the hand. So that's the kind of stuff that boggles my mind, like how they can be so good at that and just practice that over and over and over again and just get so good that people just can't see it. You're looking at them and you're not looking for all that stuff. And when you're up close, it's like, man.
Even how sometimes they'll like throw an arm up to block something.
Yeah.
You don't even really notice it. Unless you're looking for it.
Yep.
The other thing too, I know a lot of people have been talking about this recently. I'm not entirely sure why, because I don't really scour social media like that much, but a lot of people are talking about how wrestlers communicate when they're in the ring, and when you're that close, you can really see it and hear it. When you're that close, like when a lot of times when folks think the wrestlers are talking trash to a referee, they're actually setting up the next spot.
Yep.
So when you saw, I think there was an example too of it where Lyra came out. So Lyra had that little bit of wardrobe malfunction. Her top kind of came off, and then Liv Morgan had enough wherewithal to see what was going on. She went over and pushed her over to the side so she could flip with enough, and give her enough time where she'd be out of the camera range where she could kind of fix it and stuff like that. So yeah, they're just amazing at what they do. And that's why I said I can't stand when people disrespect them because they have to know exactly what to do. And then when things happen that are out of the ordinary, which I'm sure happens a lot, they have to cover for that. And it's amazing. They're really stunt people, but they're way better than stunt people.
Oh yeah.
Because stunt people just do the same stunt over and over and over and over, filming that. And if they get it wrong, they could do it again. But they get one shot.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing. They're really amazing athletes at what they do.
Yeah. I got frustrated with all the people saying stuff about Penta accidentally eliminating himself right away in the beginning of the Royal Rumble. But it's like, come on, he was trying to make it, bring excitement. Look like he was going to get eliminated. It was a mistake. It happens. Like,
yep.
Yeah. That kind of stuff. I mean, it happens, and that's the thing. I mean, Joe brings up some great points there, but I think the closest thing that you can equate it to is watching a movie get made live.
Yeah.
And like Joe said, having stunt people do their stunts live. No reshoots. Everything is just live and right in front of you, and you can see it. I mean, and that's why it's so frustrating, because people are like, oh, they throw out the B word and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And what I want to say is, go out there, and I don't even want to see you take a bump. I just want to see you get in the ring.
Yeah.
That's it. I just want to see you try to get into the ring for the first time. And if you don't trip and fall and roll into the ring, I applaud that. But people take that kind of stuff for granted.
Climb up to the top rope without falling off.
Exactly. So, thank you for sharing that video, Chris. We greatly appreciate it. As always. So I want to go into artwork now. I'm just gonna put it up there. You know what it is. You see it. I don't have to keep repeating myself. I've done so for a while. But we do have some artwork this week, and a couple of the screenshots from the game, thanks to John Bennett. And he sent me over a piece of art from, I believe it's Black Mass Design, but we'll get to it. But yeah, this is the first here. Let me make this full screen. There we go. Chris
Very
sent this
cool.
over to me.
That's very
What
cool.
really struck me about this one is how amazing it already looks, and he said it's not even done yet.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, the detail in it is just crazy. I mean, it's just amazing.
Oh yeah, I love all the wrinkles in the skin and stuff.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. The lines and stuff like that, all that. It's crazy how intricate the tattoos can get. Like how much the gum line and everything like that. Good Lord, yeah, very cool. Wow.
This one I thought was cool because he was actually, I think, here in Indianapolis and got that done before the Rumble.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow. That's tremendous.
Yeah, I wonder if our friend Kyle, because Kyle's up from around that way, ain't he?
He's from St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Very cool.
So here are some shots from the game, some cards from the game.
I started playing this game after seeing some of those ones we had on last week. I got this one too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is that Super Card?
It's called Top Slam.
Oh, the Slam. Okay. Yeah. That's the collectible one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can even trade with cards with people and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. We got one of Howdy here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a whole Wyatt Sicks set, and if you got them all, then you got that Fiend card.
That's awesome. And then John sent this over to me as well. I believe this is Black Mass Design, but I wanted to go back to the Rumble real quick, Chris, because Deanna brought up a point, and I just wanted to get a sense for those of us who weren't there live. If you could tell us the 3 biggest pops of the night.
I think Alexa Bliss was probably the biggest pop of the night because that was the biggest surprise. I mean, we all heard the reports that we know now were fake, that she was not going to be there. And she was.
Don't listen to dirt sheets.
Yep. I actually like that WWE did that. I think that's a cool thing to do. Put out a fake story to get people to bite on it, and then turns out it was wrong. Let's see, man, it's hard. There were so many loud pops. Hendry definitely was up there. Jordan Grace was one of the loudest pops too, for sure. That was a huge one. As far as like the surprises go, they were definitely one of the loudest. And then the other loudest ones were the typicals you'd expect: Roman, John Cena, CM Punk.
That's awesome. Yeah, that Alexa's pop was wild. Like I thought she'd get a good reaction.
Mm-hmm.
She did return, but that was way more than I expected. So
yeah,
that was awesome. Awesome.
Wonder if they kept her hidden in a way, like how they bring some people in.
Oh, they had to have.
Yeah, because and again, like I said, I love that because that's how you counter all this crap. Is to keep everything quiet, put out something that leaks out there, that everybody takes. Oh yeah, she's not coming back. She's having contract disputes. That's how you got to fight it. Yeah, it's the only way you're gonna get past all that crap, so that people aren't ruining things for you.
Did you see that Jordan Grace had posted like plane tickets that showed she was going to be like visiting her mom or something, and said denied she was going to be in the Rumble?
Smart. Yeah. Very smart. Yep. Yeah, it's the Shotzi thing. I said the animated comment about Shotzi. That I'm wondering if that was another kind of a swerve that they asked Shotzi to come up and say, "Hey, you come up. If they see you, then they're going to think you're going in there." And so I'll bet you she was probably part of that. And then I love how they covered themselves and said, "Oh well, Shotzi was supposed to be in it, but then at the last minute they switched it out to like, probably not. You're just covering your ass."
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to talk more about Miss Bliss here in a couple of minutes. A lot to get to with that, and just kind of some theorizing and some future thoughts, but I want to go to something real quick. Um, I'm gonna have the full interview next week with me and Meta 5. But I felt like today, we want to look at everything from the Rumble, and since it was such a huge return for Miss Bliss, I felt like we can do that next week. But I just want to quickly play a teaser of the remix of the intro song, and Chris and Joe both have heard it. I'm gonna put them both on the spot real quick, and ask. I'll ask Chris first. Chris, what did you think of the remix?
I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Meta's stuff that I've heard from him, and yeah, I think he did a great job with it. It added a lot to the already cool theme that we had for this show.
Yeah, so Joe, what did you think, man?
Yeah, I thought it was really, really good, man. I listened to it, and yeah, he's excellent, and yeah, it just kind of fits right in with the show and what we do.
Absolutely. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm actually trying to do this on the fly, so that's why I look a little bit discombobulated, because I am. But that's daily. But I'm gonna play the teaser, and then I'm gonna share a link with y'all so you can listen to the full track. So here's the teaser, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
I am the color red in a world full of black and white.
Brace for the change, brace for the rage, brace for the wave. I've been going through it. Y'all know the pain, driving me insane, deep in your veins. Y'all know how I prove it. Step through the lanes, gripping the grain. Miles an hour, yeah, miles of fluid. Mask on, asking why should I do it? Because no one is moving. I came from the swamp, the mud. Algorithm told me I was the plug. Feel for the fiend, you know what I mean. I've been through all of the lesson and hugs, and that is because I bet all hope will enter here. So listen clear, I made your dreams. Fireflies don't disappear.
Everywhere.
All right, so Meta 5 on the verse, yours truly on the beat, and some of the ad libs and some of the different moments from Bray Wyatt. So that is actually up on Bandcamp right now. I just put the link in the chat, so if you want to go listen to the full track, there's the link. Go check it out. It was awesome working with Meta, putting this together, and Chris, I hope you know this, but we did this to honor Jodie's memory, and we felt like if we put something together that was pretty special, that we could pay tribute to her memory, and we both feel like this is pretty. We're both pretty excited about how it turned out. So,
Oh, she would have absolutely loved that. I mean, she would always talk about her and Meta were like brother and sister. They just, connected really quickly on when they met and stuff in this Bray Wyatt community. And yeah, she thought very fondly of him and his music. So yeah, she would definitely be honored by that.
Yeah. I he's an awesome guy, man, and
Mm-hmm.
just being able to work back and forth with him on everything, it was cool. And I put the visuals together for the teaser. I'm gonna redo the intro video a little bit. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share that with everyone this week, and hopefully you all liked it.
Mhm.
It's funny because it was actually supposed to go live tomorrow, and somehow, some way, the track ended up being live now. So you know what? We're gonna take advantage of that. We're
Yeah.
gonna go for it. So everybody enjoy it now. Yeah, download it. Um, yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of it. All right. So speaking of letting us know what you think, obviously we talked about the return of one Miss Alexa Bliss. So I got to start here. And not necessarily, well, two-part question. What did you think of her return, and what did you think of some of the tributes that she was paying to Bray with her gear? And we'll start with Joe on this one.
I mean, obviously, very cool. When you saw afterwards that she had worked with Jason Baker, of course, on a lot of this, including her jacket and the new Lily doll, which looks ironically a lot more like that one that was in the Mrs. Crib that time. Very, very menacing, obviously, with the fangs and stuff like that. I like it a lot better than the other one. It's much more creepy, I think, than the other doll. But yeah, I thought it was great. And look, the play and pain on either side, I'm not surprised. We all know how close she was to Bray, and how good of friends they were. And the fact that, I'm sure she might have gone to Jason and said that I would like to do something like this. And I'm sure, he was obliged to do it. And so, yeah, I think it was phenomenal, and, just a great tribute to him, and as it all is, right, as this show is, and as what the Wyatt Sicks are doing is, and so I just the fact that when, her first time back, and many thought she would come back as Little Miss Bliss. We kind of thought that too. But obviously, she wanted to do this. And this is the character that she was close to Bray with. And again, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but we don't know if this was just for the Rumble, and maybe she will be another character when she officially comes back to wrestle. We'll see. But it was awesome. The Lily doll was immediately in the shop. It's selling for like $40 or something like that there. But yeah, I thought it was great. It was an awesome tribute to Bray, and I wouldn't have expected less from Alexa in her first match back. So yeah, it was really cool.
Awesome. Chris, man, what'd you think seeing this up close and personal?
Obviously, I was shocked. I mean, did not expect her to be there at all, and then even more shocked when I saw that it was Dark Alexa, because I really, like we talked about, I really thought she was going to come back as the goddess character and not Dark Alexa. So yeah, I was definitely shocked by it. I saw the jacket on camera when they had shown it, and definitely loved that. The Fiend Forever. I thought that was cool. And now going back, I've seen some of the other little details that she had on there. Several little things that she used on her outfit and the doll too, as tribute to Bray. Even so far as the nose on Lily as the Nightbird. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, really, really cool. And I do want to get to more of the details. I do want to get more of the details of Lily specifically, because there's some Easter eggs there. So let's go there real quick. Let's get so it looks like we have, well, first I want to say this. She looks more fiendish.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing that I noticed. And then the A and the six in the eyes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I know, Joe, we talked about this, and then we'll go come back over to you, Chris. But what could this mean?
I noticed it right away. I'll tell you what, I threw it up on Twitter and sometimes it's hard to tell because the right one kind of looked like it could have been like it was written like a 6, but then it looked like it could have been a B in a way. Like if you looked at it from another angle, so it could have been a B. But then I'm like, no, this is definitely a 6. I threw it up on Twitter, and our Twitter post got like 30,000 views, which was insane. But yeah, man, like, look, it's obviously the biggest question that people had was, okay, is she coming back to the Wyatt Sicks? Is she going to be part of the Wyatt Sicks? And the minute you saw that, you saw the A, and then you saw the 6. So, what else would you think it would mean? Alexa 6? or Alexa's part of the Six. So I think that was like super cool that they did that. And yeah, when you looked at the shop, this is when I went over and I'm like, this has to be on the shop. So I went over and sure enough, it was there, and it's as plain as day here. You can't mistake it. If you couldn't see it as good on the screen, that's without a doubt an A, and that's without a doubt a 6.
And that's without a doubt the Nightbird.
The Nightbird, yes.
So
yeah,
I felt the need to show it up close.
Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, I thought it was right away you're thinking, okay, well, that maybe after we heard all of this stuff going on and we heard there was an injury, well, now obviously there's an open spot. So maybe, the thing that C Wrestling was talking about people noticing that he's going to open the door, that the door is going to be open. Well, maybe, maybe that was for Alexa and as a lot of you said in the chat in the show, and maybe, she will end up joining them. So, but yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw it. And yeah, you could tell again, it was Jason Baker's team's work. Because again, it looks a lot creepier than the old one did. It looks a lot less childish than the old one did. Kind of looked like the other one was for like a young, almost like a baby in a way. But this one, much more. And I love the hair detail, which obviously looks a lot more like Alexa and the dress and stuff like that. But it's tremendous. They did an amazing job on it. So
yeah, they really did. Chris, I want to get your thoughts on the new things in Lily.
Okay, so this is my honest thoughts on it. So when I saw the 6 on there, I immediately said, if anybody has listened to my thoughts previously about this, that I didn't want her to join the Wyatt Sicks or be part of their story. The only thing that I feel could work was her being a rival of them. And seeing that immediately had me worried because I felt like here they go. They're just going to toss her into the story and not explain anything that's happened previously. And I sent a picture over to Jeff. We'll talk about here shortly. As someone posted something on Twitter that I thought was fantastic and perfectly summed up my thoughts on all this. But then hearing she's going to be on Raw and knowing the Wyatt Sicks are on SmackDown, now it's kind of up in the air. We don't know if she's even going to be involved in the Wyatt Sicks. Maybe this was just a one-off for the Rumble. I don't know. There's definitely a ton more question marks than I initially thought with this.
Gotcha. And I definitely want to get to those thoughts, Chris, because I think it's interesting getting to the fact that the Wyatt Sicks have been moved to SmackDown. That's been confirmed.
Yeah.
And it was announced that she's on Raw. So, I mean, I guess to your point, how do we get that involvement if she's on a completely different show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you tie those in together? Is I think the question. I mean, obviously, storyline wise, there's a lot to be done there that can be done.
Oh yeah.
I just think from a standpoint of she comes back and you immediately put her on the opposite show. So what I guess kind of going down that rabbit hole and theorizing a little bit, how do you think she could play a part of that story if she is a part? I mean, it looks like she is if we base it on her Rumble appearance. So if she's a part of it, how is she a part of it?
I'm guessing she won't be for a while if she is going to be because of, like you said, the fact that they're on different shows. I mean, maybe it was just a tease for now, and that'll be happening down the road. I mean, obviously, seems like the Wyatt Sicks are off TV right now for the foreseeable future anyway, since Bo's injured. So, yeah, we don't really know what's going on with them or where this is going for right now.
Joe, what do you think about her being announced to be on Raw?
I'm starting to wonder, and we talked about this before. I'm starting to wonder whether or not Netflix has something to do with some of this stuff. And I mentioned this before. We've gotten a lot of in the past where it would seem like people would end up going to SmackDown, and that Fox had some say in where people went. People can see how big of a pop she got, obviously, at the Rumble. She's probably one of the top, the most popular female stars WWE has, as far as, at least fandom wise. So I wonder that, again, I wonder if it's something where Netflix executives kind of said, yeah, we kind of want her on our show. And, with a partnership like that, and I don't know where that reaches, but they may not have been able to argue with it, or may not have said no. See, what I think would have been cool was, like I mentioned before, I'm not saying that I wanted her in the group with Howdy, because I don't think it would have made sense. But the fact that if indeed Bo is hurt and he's out of action, people, have their theories saying that it could be a shoulder injury, that they saw him fall during that last match on it. If he's out for any length of time, then you're down one member. So to me, kind of her subbing for him at that point, just to get the group to go, would have, just to have them on TV, like Chris alluded to, how they're not on TV, just to have them be back where they can kind of perform again. I think would have been maybe a pretty smart move, considering how many people wanted Alexa in it to begin with. And then you could work around that, because once he's ready to come back, then you can kind of have a storyline where he needs to come and get his group back. And that it's almost like there's a little bit of animosity there. It never kind of looked like the two of them really liked one another anyway, when Howdy was doing all that stuff with her when Bray was still around. So, that could have been a cool thing too, where when Bo came back, it's like, all right, enough's enough. I'm taking my family back. And then they could have had that little war, and then she could have went on her own way and did something different. But yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe Netflix might have some say in it, and they're going to want those top stars, and so and obviously now it looks as if she's going to end up feuding with Liv Morgan, and of course her partner could even be that she'll end up in a tag team. Maybe Alexa will get a partner, and it'll be a tag team match against Liv and her team too, and her team there. So we'll see. It's interesting. It could have gone either way, but yeah, I was kind of surprised when they said she was going to be on Raw.
Let's say that's a ruse, because apparently I'm all right. Let me take a step. Let's say that's a ruse and that she ends up on SmackDown. Does that make more sense now?
I would think so. I think the fans would be happier. I also think that people would be a little more interested in SmackDown. Nobody's missing Raw right now, but SmackDown still, to me, has, they got more people. The transfer portal is allowing people to change, but I still think that SmackDown is a rough show for that 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And I know it's not lasting forever, but if that gets the Wyatt Sicks on the show and it gets them back, then I think it would be a smart move, because then you're going to have people tuning in for sure. If they weren't going to tune in before for the Wyatt Sicks, now you have to go just for that story to see her with them. Then I think SmackDown would get a bunch of views, a bunch more views than maybe they're getting before.
Chris, what are your thoughts, man?
I mean, I need some kind of an explanation on this. If she is going to be involved with them at all, I feel like it would be a huge negative to not have some kind of a story or explanation as to how we got here. Because, I mean, if you think back to the Bray documentary, she even said on there when they interviewed her that she officially turned on Bray and the Fiend at WrestleMania and cost him to lose that match.
Yeah.
He cannot just join up with them. We can't just forget like none of that happened. If they go that route, I think it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I do not want to see that. We've got to be told some kind of story as to what's happened since then and how this makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
No, I can't disagree with any of that. So here I'm gonna ask this question in the nicest way possible. Because yeah, I'm gonna try to be nice about this. So we started here at the beginning talking about Miss Bliss and how those different reports and everything came out and where they might have originated from and all those things. Do you think that in combination with fans just thinking they know everything leads to plays into frustrations from other people when it comes to not being patient with the story and understanding where it's going? Because we have so many experts and, obviously we've got news sources. I use that term very loosely. News sites that report on this stuff. I'll start with Joe on this one.
I've said this time and time again. If you really want to enjoy wrestling, don't read that crap. Don't read it. Don't quote it. Don't listen. Anybody can come out and say you're an expert in anything. But just because people are writing about it, just because people are talking about it, doesn't mean they're an expert. Nobody knows what's going on in this stuff unless you're backstage, or unless you're part of the writing team or part of the creative team. Basically, you're ruining it for yourself. And so, but I'm all these people. This is their jobs. Their jobs are to talk about rumors. And things like that. But yeah, look, I just want to enjoy a good story. And what Chris is talking about like, you don't want to, like, a lot of what WWE used to do in the past would be like, they do disservice to fans because they would go into a story that makes no sense from things that we saw before, almost as if like, well, fans are stupid. They'll just forget about it.
Yeah.
And that's what he's talking about. And that makes sense. Things should make sense. Even if they happened 3 years ago, it should still make sense. And I think when a lot of people see things that kind of don't, at least in their minds, I think most people probably thought Alexa was going to, that she may have been, whether she was going to join the Wyatt Sicks or whether she's going to just be on the same show, and now she's not. So, but again, like I said, we don't know. Like this whole thing could have just been a nice tribute from Alexa, but maybe Alexa will be the goddess, like we had talked about on this show. Maybe this was just her coming out as Dark Alexa as a tribute to Bray. And then when she goes to Raw, maybe she will come back out to as Little Miss Bliss. We'll see. But yeah, it's just like, so much of this backstage garbage that everybody dips their toes into and tries to be, oh, this guy said this and he's 100% right. This person said, go back and fact check that stuff, guys. Honestly, no matter who you listen to out there, whose show it is, what you read, I would put you to the task. Write this stuff down in your phone or your tablet, whatever. And in 3 months, 4 months, go back and check that stuff and find out whether it was true or not. And I would bet you're going to find out a lot of stuff that a lot of these so-called people say does not come to fruition. So.
Yep. Chris, your thoughts, my friend.
I think that it's the problem with a lot of what right now is there's so much chaos going on right now. There's so much, the Wyatt Sicks have been, disappeared from TV, and there's all these, there's all these different reports swirling that there's injury, there's creative, there's this, there's that, and now Bliss comes back. It's like, there's just so much chaos that it's just feeding rumors and hearsay and stuff. So no one really knows for sure what's going on. We all have our thoughts and things, and that's why I was excited. I was bummed and excited at the same time about at the meet and greet. I wanted to meet Bo, but at the same time, I was like, well, at least I know that's probably true now, that he really is injured. Because I would think if it was just a creative thing or something, he probably would have been there. I can't imagine. He was advertised to be there, and I understand those things happen, so I'm not mad about it. But I'm sure the only thing that probably would have kept him from not being there was sickness or an injury or something. So I think we can confirm that. But as far as everything else, we just don't know, and it just creates this breeding ground for all this stuff to happen. And yeah, I'll be glad when things settle back down and we don't have so much chaos going on. I think that's just the problem that's brewing right now, is the chaos.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the chaos, and it's the need for everyone to be an expert and be right about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just has to be like, yep, I said this first, or yep, that was me, or yep, I told you so. None of us know. And I mean, the saying is, a dead clock is right twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you throw enough stuff against the wall, at some point something will stick.
Yeah.
But thank you, Deanna. We don't need to know everything. I don't want to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I don't want to know what show she's on. I don't know when the Wyatt Sicks are coming back, and I honestly don't want to know right now. I kind of want to be surprised.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm speaking for me. I don't have a need to be right. I don't have a need for somebody to give me some type of credit or some crap like that. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to be happy as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
sit back and enjoy it, guys.
Yeah,
that's just sit it. It's like anything else, man. It's like going to a movie and having to know exactly what that. Like, I geeked out today because the Fantastic Four trailer came out. I mean, and sure, the need's there. Now I'm curious. I want to know what's going on, but I'm not going to spoil it for myself. Then when I go see it, it's going to be ruined. I don't want to know. I saw the teaser. That's good for me. I got the back of the head of Galactus, man. I saw that. I don't need to know anymore. I know he's going to be in it now, not a cloud. And so I'm happy with that. And I enjoy going to a movie and being surprised. I don't want to know everything. I don't want to have all this stuff spoiled for me, like Jeff said. That's part of wrestling. That's part of what makes it fun. And if you're doing that to yourself, and you're constantly reading all these things, and you're constantly, I gotta know, you're ruining it for yourself. And then when it does happen and something's not right, then you're the same one that's on Twitter and you're screaming to the heavens, oh, why were they wrong? Why were they wrong? Just let it happen. Just let it happen. Enjoy it for what it is. It's entertainment. It should be enjoyed.
Yeah.
Surprises have always been my favorite part of wrestling. So I definitely don't want anything to spoil that.
Absolutely. And
100%.
What's up, Conrad? Even though, going back to the Rumble, even though I was like 95% certain that Joe Hendry was going to show up, the fact that he was there with the TNA title, like, that was worth it to me.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
It was awesome. Seeing Alexa back, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing her back was awesome.
And can I address Ishii real quick? No,
yeah.
Ishii, you're not correct. See, it's that kind of thing. That's a comment. I'm not picking on you by any means, but it's that kind of a comment that goes on Twitter, that takes off, and then everybody gets behind something like that and be like, oh, they're done. Oh, they're done. I'm so tired of hearing that. Like, if someone isn't on TV for a couple of weeks, oh, he's gone. Listen, Ishii, I'm just going to tell you this. In the past, with the leadership WWE had, I could understand that mentality. Not with the current regime, because that's not how they operate. And if you're still stuck on that kind of thought or thinking, I think you need to move past it, because that was the past regime of WWE. Mm-hmm. That you can count on for stuff happening like that. This isn't the way he's running things there. And so I don't know what's going to bring you into being a little bit confident or a little bit more positive. But yeah, just and again, I didn't mean to call you out, but that's that stuff. They're done. If they don't know about WrestleMania, they're done. That's not true. It's just not true. It's just not true.
And we've talked about it on this show before. And how many times did Undertaker lose a match and not be seen again for 6 months or a year afterwards? Like
Roman, for God's sake.
He wasn't done.
Yeah, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns would be on the show, one time for a pay-per-view and then gone for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chris, before we get to this tweet that you sent me, because I thought it was good, it would be good to close out with this. I think so I Am Nobody says, so do we think The Miz finds anyone to help him against the Wyatts?
I don't know. See, I'm not even sure if that's still going to be a thing, because it feels like this past week they kind of pivoted from that. He seems like he's kind of moving on to other stuff now. So
yeah.
I don't really know if we're even going to see, especially since seems like they're going to be off TV still for a bit. If they may just kind of move past that. I don't know. It kind of felt like Miz is already starting to move on to other things.
I'm just gonna say I don't think he finds help, and I think it's more fun that way.
Yeah. Who would want to join the Miz anyway? Come on.
Exactly. Nobody's joining. All right, so Chris, I know you brought this up before, but just kind of talking about the continuity and everything in the story. But if you could just break this down and talk about why it resonated so much with you.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, and I just thought this guy has said it really well of how it would make zero sense for her to just, so many people are like, yeah, she needs to come back and join the Wyatt Sicks. And it's like, well, if you think about that for a second, it makes no sense. We know the past story that we've talked about of what happened with her and Bray and stuff. And how can you just have her join up and like they're just going to forget that she had betrayed? I mean, this group is all about Bray. And we know the Wyatt Sicks, their whole purpose is to honor Bray and keep his legacy alive and his memory going. So why on earth would they let someone into their faction that betrayed him and admitted she betrayed him? I mean, and think about how important storytelling was to Bray. That was his creative genius. That was what he was all about, was telling a story. And how many times did we see him frustrated because the story was not being told the way he wanted it to go? I mean, how mad would he be if he could see, if I'm not saying that's going to happen because we don't know yet, but if that were to happen, she was just thrown in with the Wyatt Sicks, how mad would Bray have been about that if he was still here to see that they've just skipped over a story and thrown something together that didn't make any sense? I mean, that's just not how he would do it. So I hope that doesn't happen, because we know that wouldn't work, and he wouldn't, that wouldn't be an honor to him.
Let's see. I Am Nobody says the Wyatts are all misfits that WWE forgot about. Alexa is definitely not that.
Yeah, that's a great point too.
Deanna saying maybe the admittance of betrayal is a huge part of the story that brings them together. Question.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to Alexa joining the Wyatt Sicks. I just need a story that makes sense of how we got there, or what something needs to happen to get us there. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're just saying, the current regime, to Joe's earlier point, has done a great job of weaving continuity throughout.
Yeah, I hope we're past the days of, like Joe said, of, oh, they're just dumb, they'll forget about it. Like, I don't want that. So I hope we're past that.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to. I'll just throw the bloodline out there for a second. If we just skip ahead and Jacob Fatu is the new leader of the new bloodline, and he kind of overthrows Solo and all of that's done kind of quickly, you're going to get some people who gripe about it, but that's more understandable with that type of story or a story that isn't as in depth.
Right.
Like some people will still gripe. Don't get me wrong, because that's more of a in-depth story. But let's throw out something with, Judgment Day or whoever. Are people gonna gripe that they skipped like 3 and 4 and just went from 2 to 5?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as much, but with this story and who Bray was and what he still means to so many people,
yeah,
and how they brought this group on and all of the story and all of the extra stuff he did to tie this whole universe together, people would be pretty pissed if they just skipped over that.
Mm-hmm.
And understandably so, because like to your point, Chris, Bray did everything he could to make everything make sense, even when things were done on screen that made no sense to us and probably didn't make any sense to him.
Yeah.
You see him jump on Twitter and he tweets something out, and automatically you're like, okay, he's thinking about this. He's putting some thought into it to tie it all together. So, all right. This was
I put a lot of my thoughts out in the Firefly Funhouse fan group, and a lot of people did not like me because of some of the things I said about Alexa. But I'm sorry, I just, as a Bray fan, like we're talking about here, I want to see a story that makes sense. And to me, throwing her right in the Wyatt Sicks doesn't make sense. If you like that and you want that, good for you. That's great if that's what you want to see. I don't.
Yeah, I concur.
And I think that's the beauty of it, is that everybody has their own thoughts and ideas and opinions of where things should go, who should be involved, all those kinds of things. But the thing is, I mean, none of us know right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I've said since the start too, if she joins that group, and this is nothing against Nikki, she overshadows Nikki Cross.
Yep. Exactly.
Instantaneously.
I don't want to see that happen.
I don't either. Instantaneously. No, I agree.
Such a good job with this.
I agree. Nikki in the past has been a very good wrestler in her own right, but never really found her niche. And she was always overshadowed. But she was in a feud with Alexa, and she was always overshadowed. And I don't want to see that. Nikki, we saw the picture that Chris had of Nikki there. Nikki's Nikki might be having her best time ever as a wrestler right now. And I don't want to see her get overshadowed. And that's what's going to happen. It's the minute with Alexa's fan base, that rabid fan base that she has, the minute she goes in there, people forget about Nikki Cross. It's just how it is. And I don't want to see that happen.
And to that point, after meeting them, I picked up on that vibe. Like those four, I could tell like this story means a lot to them, and they've developed a bond in doing this over their mutual love for Bray. And so I could tell they were all seemed very happy with this, and I have no doubt that she is absolutely loving this, and I would hate for that to get taken away from her.
Agreed.
This was a good episode. A lot to discuss. So we'll end up with some final thoughts here, and then we'll close out the show. We'll start with Joe.
I mean, first of all, I'm happy for Chris that he got to see that show. That looked amazing. All the videos and stuff like that looked awesome. That's what if you guys get a chance to see WWE live, I know it's pricey. It's pricey, but it is something you can make memories of, and something that you'll really enjoy, especially if you can get to a pay-per-view. It's an experience you'll never forget. WWE just does that stuff up, and bring a lot of money because you're going to want to spend a lot of it. But as far as everything goes, guys, look, we're gonna the word of this is just patience. I think everybody pretty much knows now that there is an injury. What it is, we don't know. A lot of people assuming it's a shoulder and stuff like that. And I even know that people are saying they've seen, when Bo may have done it during that match with Cross's faction and stuff like that. So obviously we know that that's out there. So we're just going to have to be patient, and we're just going to have to realize that. And the cool thing too is, they're doing this as a group, right? If they could have gone on, they could have kind of broken them up and said, okay, Loomis and Gacy, you're going to tag team up now, and Nikki's going to go on her own. Well, that's all well and good, but then you break up the whole thing of the group. And then when Bo does come back, what does he come back to? It's just a bunch of smaller little things that are going on, which probably wouldn't have made sense with the storyline. So you're just going to have to be a little bit patient, and we're going to have to wait it out and see what they want to do. Maybe they'll start doing some more vignettes, or maybe, they'll start doing some, but we're just going to have to be patient and just wait it out. And just again, have some faith in the powers that be. I know that was hard in the past, but now you got Rob Fee there, who I think is a really good guy, at least from what I've seen. You've got Triple H and stuff like that. So I think they'll figure it out, and I think they're gonna do it right. So
yeah, I think that's a good point. Do you want it done, and do you want it done halfway, or do you want it done right? I think is the question.
Yeah.
Chris.
So to add to Joe's point about the live shows, I learned a tip from talking to a lot of people at Royal Rumble this past weekend. Apparently, it's if you're willing to gamble, if you want to go to a show, wait till the last minute. Like I heard a lot of people there, they kept releasing more and more tickets as it got closer, as they sold. They would open up more sections and more rows and sections and stuff like that. And so you could actually find some good last minute deals. I saw somebody bought a ticket the day of, I think it was just a single ticket, a day of Rumble, and got on the floor for like $275.
Oh wow.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So if you ever want to go to something like this and you look at prices and it's just out of your budget, check on it last minute, the day before, even the day of. You can sometimes score really good deals, because as it gets closer to the show, they lower those prices because they want to sell every seat.
Yeah.
So as it gets closer to the show, they'll lower them just because they'd rather have somebody there than leave that seat empty. So just a little tip there I found out going forward. But as far as the rest of this goes, like you guys said, we need to have patience, and we don't know exactly where this is going or what's going to happen, but I'm here for it. I'm here to see it, and I'm excited to see it. Yeah. So, let's just we don't need to know everything. We don't need to be in the know of what's going to happen. It's better to be surprised. I mean, think about their debut. I mean, how would that have ruined it if we would have known what they were going to do before they did it? It was so much better just seeing this massacre happen. We didn't know. We didn't expect it. We didn't know. And so, for all we know, there could be something amazing that's going to happen next week, and we don't know, So just, I know it's a society we've talked about, and that's how we are. We want it now, but just have patience and enjoy the ride, because that's the fun of it.
Yep.
Have fun, enjoy the ride, because pretty soon we're going to be having a lot to theorize about.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah. The Wyatt Sicks are not going anywhere. They're not getting released or anything like that. They will, as soon as they're ready, they will be back. I promise you that.
I feel very confident that pretty soon we're going to have trouble keeping this show to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
At some point. So, but yeah, so NXT tonight. Check it out. Tazzy, if you're still in chat, I'm sure you're doing a watch along, so I think so. But go check Tazzy out.
Charlotte Flair tonight.
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte's going to be on NXT.
Yeah. So we'll see. What did she say? She'd see if she was inspired by
Julia.
So
Yeah.
we shall
We're
see.
gonna go have a little chat with Tiffy on Friday.
Yep.
Yeah. That's where I think it's going, but could be wrong. Even though that's where I wanted to go, I would not be mad at Charlotte and Rhea again.
Oh yeah, they've had some great
Not yeah,
matches.
no,
Not at all.
And especially that was more early on in Rhea's career. Rhea's really became a different person now than what she was when she last faced Charlotte. So
Yeah. So I'm there on that. Either one she chooses, I'm good with. But man, what we got last night in the ring, that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun. And I'm actually gonna get this in for a second time. I'm proud of myself this week. Drop a like on the video, folks, if you don't mind. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. We're glad that you're here. We're here every Tuesday. And we're here Thursdays for TNA. And we try to do as many Sundays as we can with Between the Ropes. So come check us out. Join the family. But yeah, I am. This was a fun episode. Lots to discuss. And last thing I want to say is I concur with what Joe said. Chris, I am so happy that you got a chance to go to the Rumble, and to share those moments with Logan, with the meet and greet and everything. That I've seeing these pictures, man, it just brought a smile to me. So
yeah. I thought a lot about Jodie, obviously, this weekend, and I know that she was there with me. I wish she could have been here physically in person, but I'm glad that I got to do it in honor of her, and especially to take Logan to his first wrestling show. That meant a lot to me. I know it would have meant a lot to her.
Absolutely, yeah, man. That's special, and seeing the smile on Logan's face, and seeing him do that little pose there.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna end on that because darn it, that's what it's all about.
He's talked about being interested in getting into wrestling, and the city where we live in actually has one of the best wrestling programs in the state. So he may end up getting involved in some actual wrestling at some point, I think.
There you go. Well, yeah, hopefully so, and hopefully we get to see some pictures of him, pinning some folks and taking some folks down.
Oh yeah,
So
that happens. I will definitely share them.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Chris, for sharing these moments from the Rumble. And thank you for the conversation, Joe. Thank you as well, man. Always fun to chat about this stuff and just kind of break down ideas and just have a open, honest, adult conversation without, all the mess that goes on outside of that. So, again, if you want to check out the remix to the intro, I dropped that link in the chat earlier. But it's on Bandcamp, Meta 5. Go check them out. But the name of the song is Fireflies Forever. Go check it out. But yeah, hopefully we see you all on Thursday. Hopefully come join us for some TNA wrestling. But if not, hopefully we'll see you again next Tuesday for our next episode of Fireflies Forever. Take care, everyone.